Welcome back to another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Sammy Miller alongside Ethan Tuttle, and as March is fast approaching, we have a lot to unpack, Ethan.
There's a ton to unpack. Let's go ahead and hop right out to some Arizona State men's basketball highlights, though. I don't want to waste any time. Starting it off for the Sun Devils, Marion Jackson from deep. He came off the bench and provided 17 points for the Sun Devils. Later on, Jemiah Neal also able to knock down a three. That would make it a 4-point game with just under 8.5 left. Skipping ahead towards the end of the first half, Jalen Graham with a huge dunk. He had a terrific game, more from him later. But for the Buffs, you got to take a look at Nike Clifford. He knocks down the three. Sun Devils in the second half working the ball down the left side of the floor. There's that guy I was mentioning earlier, Jalen Graham, cans an easy two-pointer off the baseline. The Buffs try to move in, but Graham gets a hand on this one, and the Sun Devils took it in transition. Later on, check out 6'9" sophomore Jabari Walker with the slam. Colorado tried to get back in this one, but not enough time. 82-65, the final from Boulder.
Now shifting over to the women's side, we have the Sun Devils facing off against USC in one of their last regular season games of the season. Right here we had Jade Lavelle, who had herself a night with a game-high 22 points, sinking the three. And then Jaden Simmons driving downhill for the and one. But USC also wanted a piece of the action with Tara Reid sinking the three, but also getting it done in the paint as well. She's a phenomenal paint presence for the Trojans, once again sinking another bucket. But here's where things get very interesting. Myles Giles plants that foot, pivots, and hits the shot. ASU would go up one with 40 seconds remaining. But right here is where it got very interesting. Mira is going to get the ball and gets the buzzer beater win. ASU would end up losing 60-58, and here's what head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne had to say.
Everything that we talked about throughout preparing for the game, throughout the game, we just needed to be more consistent, and we needed to be more disciplined. It didn't come down that last play. There was plenty of plays before that we, just didn't sit down in our stance and get our hands up, and just not even like leaving somebody wide open in transition. That's just not what our teams do usually.
I'm now joined at the desk with women's basketball reporter Nick Hogan. Nick, how did last night's narrow loss against USC affect their game tomorrow against UCLA?
Well, it's obviously going to affect them a little bit. It was a heartbreaking loss. Anytime you lose in the final seconds, whether it's a buzzer beater or on the other end of the floor, it's always a little bit of a down feeling. It's not something you're going to be super happy about or go to bed at the end of the night with a smile on your face, but you can't let that overwhelm you. And Charlie Turner-Thorne, she's been around for a long time coaching the game. She should have her team up and ready to go. There could be a little bit of a lag against UCLA, but as far as from where I see it, they should be able to turn it around.
And the Pac-12 is called the Conference of Champions for a reason. It's a very hard conference to win in. So what do you think ASU will need to do in regards to the standings and also Pac-12 seeding?
Yeah, it's a tough conference. If you've watched Arizona State women's basketball this year, they don't feel like a 9 seed in the Pac-12, but that's what they are. And the 9 seed would hypothetically play the 8 in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament. And that's not necessarily ideal, and not for the 8-9 matchup. It's that the winner of that game would have to play 1 seed Stanford. And as we know, Stanford is pretty much a little bit of a Leviathan here in the Pac-12 conference. And with that being said, if they can move up to the 7 seed or even fall to the 10 seed, that would be ideal. Currently, USC is the 10 seed and Oregon State is the 7. They're within 1 game of Oregon State and UCLA, so they play UCLA tomorrow. Oregon State plays at Colorado on Saturday. So the standings could shake up a little bit and they could slide up. If they can get to that 7, they might get another crack at USC in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament in Vegas. That would be super exciting. That's the best way to get rid of the momentum of that game from last night's game.
And March Madness is always an exciting time. So what do you think ASU will need to do to try to make a push in this tournament?
Charlie Turner-Thorne is always going to say it starts with defense, it starts with rebounding. Those are 2/3 of the game. The other third is offense, and the offense hasn't been as good as it could be. Jade Lovell has been awesome for the Sun Devils this year. If they can get a little bit more of offensive support from somebody else, no matter who it is, they really could make a run. Their biggest wins against ranked Oregon, ranked Colorado, ranked Arizona, those have come by way of defense. They're going to have to find a way to win games on the other end of the floor as well.
Well, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate you coming in. And make sure to tune in for tomorrow's game against UCLA.
If you showed up at Phoenix Muni to watch some Sun Devil baseball, it's probably pretty clear there's been some inconsistencies. Out of the gate, pitching has been a roller coaster with a couple of Sun Devil arms still tending to some prior injuries. However, ASU has shown glimpses of power at the plate and has also displayed they can take the ball deep. After a 3-1 start to the season, ASU took on BYU at home last night. Let's go ahead and check out the highlights. As the Cougars getting ready at Phoenix Muni to take on the Sun Devils, they're coming off of a win against Ohio State, so they were feeling pretty good last night. Early on, though, Sean McLean rips one over the middle, and it's going to score a Sun Devil run, so they're out to a hot start. Later on, though, Gardner behind the dish for BYU struggles early on, and Sean McLean comes in scoring from third base as the Sun Devils off to a quick start against BYU, but the Cougars were not going to go quietly into the night here in Tempe. Later on, it's Walker on the mound. As you can see, he kicks and deals. This one escapes Nate Baez's glove. Baez has been so clutch down the stretch last season, and now coming in here to start the season, he needs to be a big part of this team behind the dish, but letting him down early, and we'll see it again as Baez still struggling to find the ball. As BYU able to get another run through. Later on, Jacob Tobias, the freshman DH, lifts one out to left field, gets down. He'll be able to get on base, but he'll later be relieved on the base pass by pitch runner Alex Champagne, who gets caught sleeping right here, and BYU gets off the field, and they're going to go grab the bats as ASU giving up what lead they have. And then here comes the side armor. Levine throws one on right up the middle of the field. They thought they had the double play. You see Connor Davis celebrating, but not quite. The umpire waves it off, so that scores a run for BYU. They'd later single for another run. They get a 4-2 win. Here's Coach Willie Bloomquist.
No walks. That's what we ask of our pitchers. Don't give up free bases. So when you give up free bases, you lose. And we gave up free bases and we lost. So it's not rocket science. We're not trying to reinvent the game. Quit giving free passes and let your defense work for you, and usually good things will happen.
We have a live update for you from ASU Softball. The Sun Devils are currently taking on the Longhorns, and they are up 1-0 at the bottom of the first. But to break down how the Sun Devils have fared so far this season, here's WCSN softball reporter Ryan Sikora.
Thanks, guys. Through 10 games, Arizona State finds themselves at 7-3. In those 10 outings, they've been propelled by a pitching staff that's played pretty well and an occasional low-level opponent. Lindsey Lopez leads the way with a 1.17 ERA, which is a little bit lower than the team average of 2.61. As a total, all four pitchers have amassed 65 strikeouts, which has led to a couple blowout victories for the Sun Devils, with 5 of their 7 victories coming through a run rule mark. When the ball is put in play, however, the left side of the infield tends to struggle. For more on that, here's Jake Seymour.
Thanks, Ryan. As Arizona State prepares to head to Texas, their main cause of concern is their infield play. Defensively, the Sun Devils have allowed 13 errors on the season, 8 of which coming in the infield. But the bigger storyline is the left side of the infield. 5 of the errors made by shortstop Alina Torres and third baseman Bella Loomis have been committed on the left side. But where the left side has lacked defensively, the right side has made up for it at the plate. Here's Riley Swenson in the studio for more.
Thanks, Jake. The bats for ASU softball have been a double-edged sword so far this season. They have 5 of their starters hitting over 400, but the bottom third of the order all hitting below 300. Getting production from the bottom of the lineup will play a huge role in Austin this weekend. As for their opponents, they are currently scoring off against Texas, a team that was ranked in the preseason but has dropped 5 in a row and out of the rankings. On Sunday, ASU will play Texas State, who presents a challenge for the Sun Devil pitchers as they are batting .321 as a team, and then UTSA, who have struggled out of the gates at 3-7 coming into the weekend. This will be the first road trip of the year for ASU, and will be a good chance to see where they're at. Now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, Riley. And now we're going to go ahead and head out to Desert Financial Arena as it's senior day for the wrestling team, as they're just looking to pick up another victory here against Lehigh. They've been doing a great job so far this season as Brandon Courtney gets that single leg takedown. Really well done there for the Sun Devils, getting them off to a hot start. Later on, the 133-pound wrestler, Mikhail McGee, was able to get a takedown, but we can't forget about Kyle Parko doing a good job grappling here and wrestling his man down to the ground as well, as there are plenty of Lehigh wrestlers on the mat in this one. Northfleet, look at that nice reversal right there. He works his way around his opponent. He's able to get him on his chest, and from there it's pretty much all sealed up. But not quite yet. We got to show you this clip of the heavyweight Colton Schultz. He gets a nice escape, and then check this out. As he gets his opponent on the ground, he's going to turn over and hype the crowd up, just cheering him on, asking for more. That would actually give them the win in sudden death. Terrific job there for Colton Schultz, and the Sun Devils take a 21-17 win.
ASU is set to take the center stage one final time at Desert Financial for the Pac-12 championships on March 6th. While it won't be easy for any Sun Devil, senior 165-pound Anthony Valencia faces the toughest path to winning his 5th Pac-12 title. Alongside Valencia, 2 other Pac-12 wrestlers in his weight class are ranked in the top 10 in the nation. He's already wrestled number 1 Evan Wick from Cal Poly and number 3 Shane Griffith from Stanford, and lost both bouts. Wick beat Valencia 9-1 and won 6 top 25 bouts this season. He beat Griffith twice. Griffith defeated Valencia off a late takedown to go up 7-6 and added 2 other top 10 wins this season. Valencia did defeat Griffith when he was ranked number 1 at the Pac-12s last year, however. With all the talent wrestling at 165 pounds at the Pac-12 championships, the door for an individual title is wide open. Back to you, Sammy.
Thanks, Jack. ASU Gymnastics, who is currently ranked number 15th in the country, continue on with their historic season. Our WCSN gymnastics reporter Ainsley Ryan is in here in the studio for one of our favorite segments, By the Numbers, to update us on the Sun Devils' recent success.
On Sunday, the Arizona State Sun Devils beat the UCLA Bruins with a score of 197.8 to 195.475, making it their first win over the Bruins since 2001. Their score of 197.8 is the 7th highest score in program history and the new season high. Arizona State also earned new season high event totals in all 4 events: 49.3 on vault, 49.525 on bars, 49.45 on beam, and 49.525 on floor. The floor team score was the highest the program has seen in 18 years. There were also numerous personal records set. 15 routines in the meet either set new career highs or tied current career highs. Sarah Clark and Jada Mangahas both scored 9.95 in their events, which are the highest scores for the Sun Devils this season. It was certainly a monumental meet, and they'll be looking to build off their new rank of number 15 in the country in their meet against Cal this coming Sunday. Back to you guys.
Currently on a 4-game losing streak with a 15-16 record, ASU men's hockey looks to finish the season above 500 with 2 more remaining games up north in Alaska. The Sun Devils will take on the Canucks tonight after a rowdy series in Tempe just a couple of weeks ago. The postseason hopes look grim, but head coach Greg Powers is just concerned with finishing the season and ending on a high note.
We've always wanted to set the program up for when we did get an arena to be in a very competitive spot, and we are. I mean, the body of work speaks for itself. A lot of people thought we were nuts for saying we wanted to get to 1 tournament before we got out of Oceanside, and we technically were going to qualify for 2, and it's a huge accomplishment. So, you know, the body of work we're very proud of. This season we're frustrated at the results, but again, we finished strong with 4 games. I think we can create some really good momentum going into the offseason.
And now we have some top plays at number 5. We have softball for you. Jasmine Rawling hits a huge home run out of the park, but ASU would end up losing 7-5.
Sometimes some of these highlights are so good, you got to show them again. Let's go back to Colton Schultz, the heavyweight, moving the weight around on the mat as he's doing a great job right here against Lehigh, and we got to run this one back again as he just rolls over his opponent, gets the Sun Devils the win, and celebrates in front of his home crowd. Great job there.
At number 3, we have a heartwarming story for you. We have Connor Davis, and against Dixie State, he had a 2-year hiatus due to COVID-19 and ACL injury, but his first at bat, he hit a home run and then another one as well.
Taking it out to gymnastics, Sarah Clark here doing a great job swinging around the bar, and then bam, sticks this one. She would receive a 10 from one of the judges, but her average score would be a 9.95. Terrific.
For number 1, we're going back to ASU versus Dixie State. You don't see this very often. Will Rogers hits a grand slam, getting Phoenix Muni on their feet. But how about another one? Let's see it. Nate Baez is about to get another grand slam himself. ASU was extremely dominant in this game and would then end up winning 17-8.
Well, that's all the time we have right here, right now on Cronkite Sports Live. As always, thanks for joining us. I'm Ethan Tuttle, she's Sammy Miller, and for everyone in the studio, thank you. We'll see you next time.